Hello everyone, you're watching episode 3 of the Golden Nuggets of Leadership. Today's topic, what are the 12 primal duties of a leader? Most leadership advice tells you how to act. Very little tells you what you are truly responsible for as a leader. Today I'm going to change that. I'm going to offer you a different way to think about your role as a leader. Not as a collection of skills, but as a set of duties. My name is Louis Larimer. Since 1982, I have studied and taught the principles of leadership to MBA students, business owners, corporate executives, and government officials. I have also served as president and CEO of several successful corporate enterprises. As a result of my personal leadership journey, I discovered that there are 12 primal duties of a leader. I think it's critical to your success as a leader that you know these duties and actively strive to fulfill them. Here's why. When you step into a leadership role, you don't just gain authority. You become responsible for the success of the group that you lead. And you become responsible for fulfilling the duties and obligations that come with the job. This idea forms the foundation of what I call the primal duties of a leader. Now, a primal duty is not optional. It is not secondary. It is a fundamental, a core responsibility that must be fulfilled for any organization or for you to truly succeed. And here's the key. You may delegate tasks, but you can never delegate responsibility. Let's walk through them clearly and simply. Duty number 1. You have the duty to produce desired results. At the end of the day, leadership, that's you, must deliver desired outcomes and results. Effort is not enough. Activity is not enough. Results matter. If you do not produce results, those that hired you will replace you with someone else. The challenge is that you must produce those results and outcomes principally through the efforts of other people, those you can't necessarily control. The reality is that you cannot do it alone. Consequently, you've got to focus on the other duties and obligations to achieve success. Duty number 2, define and communicate the mission. People need to know the purpose of the organization or the team which you lead. They need to connect, find meaning in the mission they are to accomplish. And this mission, it needs to be stated simply, clear-cut, and in a single sentence. It then needs to be widely communicated and reinforced by you. Duty number 3, create a compelling vision of the future. People need a vision of what that is and a clear understanding of what it looks like. People need direction. They need to know where they are going. They need to know what the future they are to create looks like. And most important, why it matters to them. Because it must touch their hearts and souls. And this is your responsibility to develop and communicate. Again, you need to imagine what that future is and communicate it to them in an inspirational way. Duty number 4, develop effective strategies to achieve your mission and vision. This means deciding upon the intelligent uses of resources and then how you will deploy those resources to produce the results expected of you. Duty number 5, you have to focus people on what matters because distraction is the enemy of progress. You need to know the critical aspects of your business, the things that you must excel at in order to succeed, and then you need to keep people focused on those items while not losing the vision of the future. In other words, you must keep the light shining on those critical behaviors, key attitudes, and vital processes. Duty 6, motivate your people. Not through pressure, but through purpose, encouragement, optimism, praise, and empowerment. Remember, people perform best when they feel heard, valued, and appreciated. Duty 7, provide the resources necessary for success. Without working capital tools, training, support system, technology, and fair play, the best people will struggle and often fail. It is your responsibility to see that your folks have what they need to be successful. Duty number 8, it's your obligation to create a positive corporate culture. Remember, your success depends upon people. People have needs to feel included, to have a fair value of autonomy and input into how work is done. Corporate culture reflects how people feel about working with you and with others. It's akin to the tenor, the tone, and the rhythm of music. And that brings us to duty number 9, cultivating and demonstrating emotional intelligence. That's within you. You see, leadership is not just about decisions, it's about how your emotional state impacts others. Research tells us the emotional state of the organizational leader drives the corporate culture and feel of the entire organization. Thus, you must bring emotional calmness, intelligence, compassion, hope, optimism each day during your tenure as a leader. Duty number 10, you must hold yourself and others accountable. Accountability creates trust. It ensures that standards are met and that commitments are honored. It's not about finding fault, fixing blame. It is about confronting reality truthfully, explaining results, analyzing causation, and taking corrective action to remedy the failures. Duty 11, managing the collision of ideas that occur. People think differently. They bring their own perceptions of reality and truth. They express their ideas to others, and most often, conflict arises. This conflict can be healthy, but it needs to be responsibly managed and facilitated. And it is your responsibility to do so. Duty 12, maintain your health. This may be the most overlooked of all. If you're not physically, mentally, and emotionally well, everything else suffers. You owe health, not only to your organization, but to your family and to yourself. Now, each of these 12 duties, they exist for a reason. It's because they reflect the underlying real needs of the stakeholders, employees, customers, partners, and owners. And together they define what leadership truly is. Not position, not power, but responsibility to fulfill the duties of a leader. If you are in a leadership role or preparing for one, I ask you to take a moment to consider, what duties am I fulfilling well and which am I neglecting? Because leadership is not something you have, it's something you carry. And when you carry it well, you create results, meaning, and lasting impact. If you want to learn more about being a leader, I ask that you like, subscribe, and visit louislarimer.com. Look for a book titled Strategies for Creating a Highly Successful Business. It will provide the details of how to fill each of the 12 primal duties of a leader. Now, that's all I have for you. Be on the lookout for my next video, which answers the question, what is the best style of leadership? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.